Can Major League Baseball hidden patterns help you when you live bet? They can. And I'm going to show you how yesterday they could have helped you. They did help me. I'm going to go into an example here. But I want to also, before I get into that, if you're having trouble winning, go to winningiseasy.com, hit the green button, and I'll help you out. I appreciate you watching this video. Let's go right into it. I'm going to get into yesterday's play, the live bet that I think is a good example to talk about. And I'm going to get into some of today's plays, which is going to help you try to understand how I go about my business here and how I track things, okay? So we're going to go into one example, which was the Cardinals and the Reds. So on the 28th, the Cardinals, I had told you that the Cardinals had a huge run deficit. They were minus 24 runs on the road. They just weren't a good road team. They've been playing well. They've been playing well at home. They come into Cincinnati. They lost the first game. They win the second game 7-1 on the road, catching some plus money there. And then in the third game, how do you know who to bet? And then maybe you don't know who to bet, but you want to take the Cardinals' reputation on the road in consideration. This is why you do the research. They were terrible on the road. They've been having trouble scoring runs because they're getting destroyed on the road, right? And so you want to take their history in consideration because that's who they are. That's their DNA, right? So the Cardinals were minus 24 on the road. In the series with the Reds, they were minus 11, and then they're minus 5 after that 7-1 win. So you come into yesterday, they're catching some plus money again, and they quickly go up. What was it? Let me catch it here. They quickly go up. 3-0. They're 3-0 in the fourth. So I saw this, and I'm looking at it, and so this is the first half of the game, right? So they're up 3-0 in the fifth. I'm catching plus money with the Reds, 2.5, right? They're down by 3. I'm catching 2.5 plus 105. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, are they going to be able to hold this road lead? Because these runs were scored early. The benefit of the run scoring early and the Cardinals jumping out was, hey, this team has trouble scoring runs on the road. And the Reds are at home. Now, the Reds had a losing record. They got a worse record than the Cardinals do. But I was like, okay, plus 2.5. There's some value there at 105. So I took it, and I wind up winning the bet. The Reds lost 5-3, so lost by two runs, okay? So there's some real value there when you take in the history of what you're looking at. That's why you want to look at these things, because what happens is when you're looking at them day after day after day, just certain things, you're able to see and accumulate stats and idiosyncrasies of these teams, habits, what they do, what they don't do, and you're able to take advantage of it in the game. So even if you had the Reds early, I didn't have the Reds. I played the D-backs as my play of the day, and that lost. But I didn't play the Reds-Cardinals game, but I'm looking at it as playing, and I'm like, okay, there's some value there. I'm going to take it, and of course, we win that bet. Okay, so you understand how that works, and the more you do it, the more you see things. The more you see things, the more confident you are, and the more you're going to win these games. You're going to be on the right side of a lot of these things, okay? So let's go into today. There's 8 games on the slate, not a full slate today, but I think there's some value in what I saw, and I'm going to give you that right now. So these are just cursory numbers again, like I did the other day. Let's go into it. I'm surveying the dog when I talk about these things. Is there some value on the dog? Is there a reason to bet these dogs? Okay, so the A's and the Rays are the last game of the series right now. It's game number 3. The Rays came over the top in the 9th. They win 4-3 yesterday. A's are catching some pretty good money right now. Are the A's a good team to bet today? Let's see. They're 4-4 in their last 8, which isn't too bad. They're plus $45. Not too bad. They're on the road. But here's the deal. On the road, they're minus 23 runs in their last 9 road games. Okay, so not good. They're minus $700 also in the same last 9. And 6 of those 8 road losses, they've been run lined. Okay, now in this particular series against the Rays, they're 3-7 in their last 10, and they're minus 29 runs. There's a run differential of 29, and they're only minus $132. So not too bad in the dollar differential, but they're just getting smoked on the board. And, bottom line is there some value on the A's? I don't think there is in this game. Do you bet the Rays and lay the chalk? That would be up to you. But here's what I would do. I'm not going to base it on this. This just gets me a preliminary look, a snapshot. And then what I do is I go in and I see what happened when in the game. So I look at the day before. Actually, I might go back 3 or 4 games. I might go back 10 games just to get a feel for when things are happening in the game. Everything is pacing and tempo. And look, everything in life is timing. You, me, we all either get a benefit or get a bad thing happen because it's the wrong time. That's why you want to be consistent. Okay, so if I have to go back 10 games to get a rhythm for what's happening in the next game, I'll do it if it's going to make me money. But these just give me the cursory view of, okay, do I look to the ace? No, I don't. Can I look to the raise? I'll go in and take a look at it and see if there's some value there. Otherwise, I don't want to lay big chalk, and I may lay off the game completely. Okay, so that's just some stuff there. Let's go to the Cubs Brewers. This is game number 3 right here, okay? Cubs right now, we're looking at the Cubs because they're getting some value today. They're plus 105, 110, whatever it is right now. They're 2-6 in their last 8. They're minus 422. These are just their last 8 games. They're minus $422 if you're playing $100 units. They're on the road. Their last 8, they're minus 10 runs on the road. And they're minus $341. So not very good there. 4 of the 7 road losses, a little more than 50%, they're getting run lines. So they're getting beat pretty bad. They're 5-5 in their last 10 against the Brewers. And that's what happens when these teams that are in the same division, they generally know each other. There's a DNA involved, and these two teams here, they play pretty even. So it's been 5-5. The Cubs are only minus 1 run, and they're minus $6. Is there some value on the Cubs? There may be, based on what I just saw there. I'll have to go in now and go check the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many games to get a rhythm for what's happening with these numbers in the game, and I may or may not make a play on that. Okay, so that's one that I'll take a look at. Last game I want to talk about is the Tigers and the Red Sox. So Tigers, this is game number 1. I got an astounding stat to show you here with this game, but it's game number 1. Both these teams have even records. I believe the Tigers are 27-28. The Boston Red Sox might be 28-27. Both of them, just hovering right at 500. The Tigers are 5-6 their last 11 games. And in those 11 games, they're minus $17. Not too bad. Just a few bucks if you've been betting the Tigers and riding them. They're on the road. They're plus 12 runs in their last 9 on the road. Not bad, but they are minus $2.99. So almost minus $3 on the games that they've been on the road last 9, even though they're plus 12 runs. So 3 of the 7 road losses, they've been run lined, which means they don't get run lined very often. They play hard, they play tough. But when you go to this series, the last 10 matchup in this series, and that's what I like to do, I'll look at the last games they played, I'll come into this series, I'll look at the last 10 they've played in this series. The Tigers are 1-9 against the Red Sox. They're minus 28 runs in that period. That's a ton. That run differential is huge. And they're minus $727. Now, what does this mean? This means that the Red Sox have been dominating the Tigers. Does it mean they're going to win today? Not necessarily, because eventually these things kind of even out, as I mentioned yesterday. And so what you want to do is you want to say, okay, is this going to be is this a game where it evens out? Okay, so I don't know if that's true or not. Do I want to get in front of a streak that's 1-9? Probably not yet. Do I want to play a game or 2 in this series? Maybe, but maybe not the first game. Maybe I'll look at it, watch it, see what happens, and kind of factor this stuff in tomorrow when game 2 hits and see if there's some value maybe on the Tigers at that point. And listen, Tigers could win today too, but I'm just saying, do I stay out of the way of a freight train? I think I do. I think that's a smart way to go about it. You don't want to get in front of something that has been going against a certain team and bet that now will be the time. That's fool's gold unless you have an absolute guarantee or an absolute solid indicator that's gonna give you that, because the value isn't there with it right now. You're only getting 105 with the Tigers, so it isn't really worth it. I don't know. For me, it's not. I'm just gonna watch the game, see what happens. Anyway, that gives you a cursory view of how I'm going about this today. I hope you get the live bet thing, because when you take these things in consideration and you do it more and more and more and more, you get an intuitive feel for what's happening. You can go in and you can hit these things hard. That's all I got for today. If you're having trouble winning, go to winningiseasy.com, hit the green button. I'll help you out. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you watching today. Have a great day. Good luck.